Elisabeth Hasselbeck dishes on View co-hosts and the day she was fired in Point of View. Elisabeth Hasselbeck is likely wanting you to take a little time to enjoy her view in her new book out Tuesday. The one-time shoe designer turned Survivor competitor turned talk show host revisits her trying days on the. Hasselbeck, 41, holds nothing back when recounting, which she joined in 2003. She writes that Hasselbeck writes that she was visited in her office one day by the producer of the She said she expressed appreciation for her time on the show and asked why. Hasselbeck writes that she was told there wasn't anything she could done. Still, according to Hasselbeck, she spent approximately 90 minutes just. 6 years later, Hasselbeck writes she was invited to return to the program as a co-host, which she turned down, explaining God gave her the. In addition to that terrible day, Hasselbeck recounts moments of her friendships with her former View cohorts. For Hasselbeck, the legendary journalist Bot. Walters was also in her corner when she was reaching out to the former chairman and CEO of Fox News about job opportunities. The former 20, Hasselbeck has love for the comedian, who recently made her return after. Though the author admits, whoopee. Hasselbeck makes reference to a shared after beer mocked Vice President Mike Pence. The controversy began in mid-February, when the hosts reacted to and Wicca former White House staffer Omarosa Manigault Newman said Pence thinks. At the time, it's using. She says she and her former colleague had a godversation, which she defines as a. In her Instagram post, Hasselbeck reflected on her past conversations with beer for her comments last March. Representatives for Hasselbeck did not immediately respond to an inquiry from USA Today as to why O'Donnell wasn't mentioned in the new book. O'Donnell co-host contributing Jamie Dearwester. Related video Rosie O'Donnell I had a little bit of a crush on Elisabeth Hasselbeck provided by Us Weekly.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.